Splinters can be used in a whole lot of different situations, depending on your partnership agreement. Responders can splinter, openers can splinter. There can be second round splinters. There can be mini splinters. There can be splinter bids over minor suits as well. So it's all a matter of how far you want to carry this idea. Some people use them only over major suit opening bids, and that's all. The thing is, any jump to a new suit that is one level higher than what is needed to make a natural bid in the suit that you have bid is a splinter bid. Now that sounds, I know you're all saying, huh? I mean, I did too the first time I read that. A splinter is a double jump, so it takes up a whole lot of bidding space. So all this information that you get from it is absolutely necessary. Now, as I said, most pairs play splinters over major suit openings, if they play them at all. Many pairs do not play splinter bids, but I'm here to tell you they can convey a whole lot of information and are very valuable when you can use them and use them correctly. So here are examples of splinter bids over major suits of the major suit openings. Remember, your splinter bid or your Jacoby 2 no trump bid sets the trump suit, just in that one bid. So in this case, 1 spade, 4 clubs says, partner, I have opening values, 4 card spade support, and shortness, that is a singleton or a void in clubs. Same thing with diamonds or hearts. Notice that all these splinter bids are at the 4 level with the exception of 1 heart, 3 spades. 3 spades is a double jump over 1 heart. So you need only to go to the 3 level in that one instance to indicate a splinter bid. So the rules for bidding a splinter. Do these bids follow those rules that I mentioned? Well, if partner opens 1 spade, you can bid 2 clubs. And if you play 2 over 1, that's a natural and forcing bid. If partner opens 1 spade at jump to 3 clubs, shows clubs by the responder and can be either strong, if you play strong jump shifts by the responder, or it can be played as weak. Either way. What you don't need is a bid of 4 clubs to have a natural meaning. So therefore, that bid can be used as a splinter bid. It is 1 level above what you need to make some kind of natural bid. And in the case of the major suit openings, it will be at the 4 level with the exception of 1 heart, 3 spades. So now the next question is, what kind of hand? What should my hand look like if I'm going to splinter? Well, here are some examples that we can use to judge here. This first one, hand A, has only 8 high card points in it. Even counting a singleton here, you don't come to the level of an opening bid. That hand is not quite strong enough. If it had another point or 2 in it, it would be a perfect splinter. But in this instance, you should make whatever bid shows a limit raise in partner's opening suit with that hand. Hand B is absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. It has 11 high card points in it, 4 card heart support, and a singleton club. So a splinter jump to 4 clubs is appropriate with that hand. Hand C has all the right distribution, but it has a bundle of points. A bundle of points in it. It has 17 high card points and a singleton. That's a powerful hand. Now, as I said here in this slide, what happens if you jump to 4 clubs and your partner just rebids 4 hearts? If you would splinter with a hand that's strong, then partner has no idea whether you have the hand that's worth 12-ish, 13-ish points, or one like this. And you don't have any idea when he just rebids 4 hearts, whether you should bid on or not. Maybe he opened an 11-point dog over there because he was feeling a little frisky. I mean, you don't have any way of knowing whether you should bid again. With a hand like this, use Jacoby 2 no trump. Yes, I know it's not balanced. And in general, a Jacoby 2 no trump bid is supposed to indicate that. But when you have a hand that is this strong, you don't want to take up all the bidding space, because looking at this, I would be smelling a slam if I held hand C, and I want to have room to investigate the slam. That's why I would not use a splinter with a hand this strong. Take it from me. I have gotten a little rebellious at times and tried to splinter with a hand like this, and it just doesn't work out as well as using Jacoby 2 no trump when you have a lot of strength as responder. Here's the example. Your partner could hold either one of these 2 hands that I've shown here. Remember, this was hand C. If you bid on and partner holds this hand on the left, maybe you can stop before you get to slam, and maybe you can't. But if the defense leads a diamond, you may lose 2 diamond tricks right off the top, and maybe a diamond rough, who knows? But if you pass, then partner might have the hand on the right over here. And you can make a slam easily, but you've stopped in game because you have bid a hand that's worth approximately 20 points the same way that you would bid a hand that's worth 12 points. That is almost guaranteed not to work out well. That's why it's really beneficial to limit the value on a hand that has a splinter in it. Partner knows not only that he needs to have the right holding in the suit that you bid that shows shortness, but also some extra values. You've shown a hand with opening values only. So if you're going to pursue a slam, he needs to have extra values. And those extra values should be outside the suit that you splintered. It does your partnership very little good for him to have ace, king, jack in the suit where you showed a singleton or void. That's called duplication of values. And it makes the likelihood that you have a suit with a number of losers in it somewhere else very high. So with this kind of hand, Jacoby 2 no trump is the choice that many pairs would use. There are other ways to show a game forcing hand opposite a major suit opening, but Jacoby 2 no trump is very popular because it shows the 9-card fit. And then it also allows for the opener to describe his hand well by showing shortness, or by showing a second 5-card suit, or by showing extra values and rebidding 3 no trump, for instance. So by bidding Jacoby 2 no trump over the major suit opening, you have more room to exchange information to find out whether you really do have a slam or whether you need to stop and game. Now,
Susan,
yes.
Roy has his hand up.
All righty. Hey, Roy, what's your question?
How strict is the ruling that you have to have 4-card support to
Absolutely.
bid the Jacoby?
Absolutely.
So if that ace of hearts was in a diamond, ace of diamonds, and
Right
you had the
here?
king, queen, 3 of hearts, correct?
Uh-huh.
How would what would your bid be to show your partner that you got the points, but you don't have the distribution for Jacoby?
Well, there are a number of ways to force the bidding. Depending on your philosophy, yours and your partners. Some people, if they had the ace of diamonds and only 3 hearts here, would bid 2 diamonds to establish the game force immediately if they play 2 over 1. Some pairs say, hey, I'm going to bid 1 spade first. If you play 2/1, though, you know you're going to be able to get your spades in later because you and partner will have the agreement that you keep going until you reach a game contract somewhere. So that depends on your partnership agreements, how you have decided that you're going to bid. Hey, when I have a game force, do you want me to establish the game force first, or do you want me to bid an outside major suit first? That's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. If you don't play 2/1, you have to continue to make forcing bids in order to show your shape. For instance, this hand certainly has enough to bid 2 diamonds or 1 spade, either one. And then after that, if you don't play 2/1, you have to jump to the game after you have bid something else first. The problem with that is that your partner may pass. So that's why 2/1 can be very helpful in finding slams, because once you establish the game force, then you can bid 3 hearts instead of 4 hearts, knowing that partner cannot pass. But if you do that, it's going to be harder if you don't have the distribution. The secret is to keep forcing the bidding. Or with the Splinter or Jacoby 2 no trump, you must have 4-card support to use it. Now, if you and your partner, I don't know, Don, you tell me if this is right. If you and your partner have agreed that you can say, bid Jacoby 2 no trump with only 3-card support, I mean, that is the exact opposite of absolutely everything I have ever read. And I have seen authors who say, don't do it with 3.
Yeah, I don't think there's an ACBL rule against it. It's partnership agreement. I don't think you should do it.
Yeah, I don't either.
Just, make a game force bid and that, this gets back to that concept of being sure you understand forcing bids. There's no reason to use Jacoby with 3 when you can just make a forcing bid and get there better ways.
Yeah, that's.
But
I
if your
understand
opponent
what you're.
chooses to make a Jacoby bid with 3-card trump support, oh well.
Yeah,
I understand what we're saying.
Yeah.
But you can get the game, like in this example, partner opens, he's got 13 points. You've got 17 in distribution. You can get the game, but how do you get the slam without showing partner you've got the hearts?
You have a side suit here that has 2 fast losers. And you are missing 2 key cards here, obviously. You have to say, well, my partner doesn't have anything in hearts, obviously, so surely his values would have to be in diamonds and clubs. And some people would use that logic to bid 4 no trump holding this hand. This hand is certainly, if you value it, and consider that it's opposite a partner who opened, then you virtually know that slam is there. But your problem is that you have this diamond suit here. Now, partner holds this hand right here, everything's good. But if he holds this one instead, notice it's the same number of high card points, then slam has no chance. You're off 2 fast diamond losers. And if you bid Blackwood with this hand and your partner shows you, he would show you 2 key cards. You don't know where the other one is. You hope that one of them is king of trumps. If it's these 2 aces, well, then if it's not the king of trumps, he's bid a jack-high suit, which is totally acceptable. In general, he will have the king of trumps and one of these aces, though, and you have no way of knowing which one it is. So, Susie, we're getting a little far afield here, Roy. Slam bidding without the use of Jacoby 2 no trump and splinters is partly feel, partly experience at the table. And we can go into that at another time here on how to, we're going to talk, in fact, about finding
Okay.
major suit slams following one no trump openings here in a couple of weeks. And we'll go on to, I'll try to devise a hand that has only 3-card support, and we'll talk about how to get there at that point. All right?
Susan, before
I
you get.
appreciate that. That did help.
Great.
Good.
Before you get to start up again, Susie's got a question, I think,
Yeah,
that
I see
several of
her.
them have.
I see her hand up. Go ahead, Susie.
Okay, I have 2 quick kind of elementary questions. If I'm going to make a Splinter bid, I'm responding to an opening in the direct seat, not a overcall.
Let's see, your partner, you're responding to your partner. This is not an overcall. Direct seat has nothing to do with it.
Okay, but if somebody bids, then my partner bids the major suit, and I'm going to make it.
You can splinter, but the problem is when your partner was an overcaller, you don't know whether he has 8 points or whether he has a full opener.
Exactly. Okay, second quick question. If my partner bids a spade and I say 2 hearts, is that a 2/1 game forcing bid?
If you play 2/1, it is. If you don't, it's not.
Okay.
Okay. All right. It just shows, and I will comment, a goodly number of the hands that are bid, say one of a major followed by two of something, a goodly number of those sequences end up in game because the responder has at least 10 high card points and then maybe 1 for length or some kind of shortness somewhere. Actually, if he's the responder, it should be shortness. So he has a hand generally that will be worth at least 11 points. And if opener has 14, then you're in game territory. So a goodly number of those end up in a game contract anyway. You just have to make some special arrangements for the hands that are not game going, because all of a sudden you can't bid 2 clubs with only 10 points in your hand. You have to have another bid to use. So anyway, all right, now we were talking about these 2 hands. I think you can see here, this gets back to that old rule about not using Blackwood with 2 fast losers in a side suit. So I mean, this hand right here with your partner will produce a small slam without breaking a sweat. This one, the small slam has no chance at all. So it can be very important for you to limit your hand when you splinter so that your partner knows what kind of hand you have, and then reserving Jacoby 2 no trump for the hands that are too strong to splinter. Your partner will know exactly what he needs to have. No wasted values in your short suit if you have splintered, and then he needs to have extras in order to pursue a slam. All right, now then. This hand was played in the Friday morning game last November 12th. This is an example of a splinter bid following a major suit opening. Here's West. He opened the hand 1 spade, and I think all of you would agree that that's appropriate. East responded 4 clubs, 10 high card points. I'm short in clubs, partner. Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. You can see each hand has a singleton in it. Notice what this tells West. It says, hey, I have a singleton club. Well, now we know that the 10 and 3, or a void. He may even have a void in clubs, although a singleton. But when you show shortness, about 90 to 95% of the time, it's going to be a singleton rather than a void. But he knows now that he doesn't have any club losers. He doesn't have any idea about the heart situation. But he does know that you are limited to an average of 10 high card points. So he's just pretty sure that you don't have all 3 missing aces. That would be 12, right? That would be 12 high card points. With that, we would probably use Jacoby 2 no trump. Now, you're going to have a heart loser. No way around that. So you can see that the slam here depends on finding the diamond queen. You have a two-way finesse for it here. If you're playing match points, this is a slam that's 50-50 at best. Now, there were 12 east-west pairs in this particular situation. Only 3 of them made 6 on the hand. One pair didn't find game and the others all made 5. The way I approach this kind of hand is if my partner showed me 2 key cards without the queen of trumps, would I be happy? Then I would bid for no trump here, asking my partner what kind of holdings he has. In this case, 2 without the queen is not enough. So I decline to ask. Remember when we talked about slams last fall, especially with Jacoby 2 no trump hands, a 9-card fit without the trump queen is a judgment call. If you have the jack and 10, you might lean toward accepting if your partner showed you 2 without the queen. In this case, I would be showing my partner 2 with the queen, but we still have to find the diamond queen because we cannot afford a heart loser. So and based on the hands that made, you really don't want to be in a slam that only 3 out of 12 pairs were able to make. That's not a good percentage slam. Okay. We have a big rule in using splinters. You never splinter when your singleton is an ace or a king. And some people will go so far as to say even a queen. You might think, well, golly, what could be better than having a singleton ace? Well, there's a reason behind it. Here you are. This is your hand. This is a nice hand, right? This has 13, 16 high card points. And some people would open this 1 no trump, but bear with me and let's open this 1 spade. If your partner splinters 4 diamonds, well, your hand looks absolutely, I mean, it couldn't look better. If your partner had splintered in hearts, you'd say, ugh, I have the ace and king of hearts. That's 7 wasted points right there. But now you're thinking, oh my goodness, this looks great. All right, let's take a look at 2 possible hands that your partner might have for splintering it to 4 diamonds. The one on the left here has a singleton diamond, and it is a spot card. The one on the right has the singleton ace with 4 small clubs instead of having the ace of clubs. So the total number of points is exactly the same. Now the hand on the left produces a slam without breaking a sweat. You give up a diamond trick and you can see you have the ace to cover this loser here. You have the queen of hearts to cover this loser, and your spade suit is virtually solid. All right. How about if you have this hand on the right? Does this hand have a chance of making a slam? I don't think so. You're going to be off no diamond tricks in this instance, but you could lose 2 club tricks without any problem at all. If partner has wasted values in the diamonds here, then this is not a good thing. Your partner is going to judge his hand based on the shortness in the suit that you have splintered. He's going to look at his hand, and if he sees the king, queen, jack in that hand, he's going to devalue that immediately. Absolutely. It's not ever going to occur to him that you have the singleton ace, because it is too hard for your partner to evaluate his holding in the suit if your singleton could be an ace or a king. A king's even worse than an ace because it's not a sure trick. So if he has the ace as a singleton or the king as a singleton and somebody leads the ace thinking, oh, hey, the dummy is going to be short in this suit, I better take my ace now while I'm able to, then he'll drop the king. Or if something happens and you do get a trick with the king, you get a discard. But a lot of times that discard is not one that's very helpful because you have to throw off a small card in a suit where you didn't have any losers a lot of times. So if partner has the ace, queen, jack in that suit, and you're sitting there with the singleton king, your partner is going to devalue his holding in that suit because he thinks you have a small card. So just abiding by the rule of not splintering with a singleton, ace, or king makes it much easier for your partner to evaluate his holding in that suit. If he has a lot of point count in that suit, he needs to devalue and say, well, under normal circumstances, I might be interested in a slam, but my partner has control of this suit through shortness, and I have control of the suit with my high cards. That means we have a duplication in our values. A duplication of values is not a good thing when you're looking for a slam or even for a game sometimes. That usually means that you have a wide open suit someplace else. So it can be very, very important to remember not to splinter with an ace or a king. With this hand on the right, use Jacoby 2 no trump, just as you would if you had too many points to splinter. That's a very good convention. Jacoby 2 no trump is a very good convention. And you can convey information as well. In this case, partner won't show you anything, but well, he would probably bid 3 spades here, showing more than a minimum opening hand. Or he might bid 3 no trump. If he rebids 3 spades, he really needs to have a 6th one. He would probably bid 3 no trump, showing a hand with extra point count in it, but only 5 cards in the trump suit. So Jacoby 2 no trump can handle this situation quite well. Now, it's all very well and good to learn a convention. What a lot of people fail to do is learn how you bid following the use of that convention. That's just as important as knowing the convention itself. So in this instance, I have to, I'm showing my age here, but Frank Sinatra used to sing a song that became a standard, all or nothing at all. And that pretty well describes the holding that you need to have when your partner splinters. You either need to have all, that is the ace and the ace only, or 2 or 3 small cards, all or nothing, no in betweens. Now then, remember, your partner is going to have length in the 2 unbid side suits. He's short in this 3rd side suit. He's told you so by splintering. He has 4 cards in your trump suit. And he's going to have more cards in other side suits because he has shown at least 4 card support in the trump suit and a singleton. That still leaves 8 cards in the other 2 suits. So any honors that the opener holds in those 2 other suits are golden. They will fit well with partners' holdings in the suit. Now, you open a spade, partner bids 4 clubs. Look at this hand on the left. If this is your hand, well, if the auction starts with a limit raise here, or even a jump raise to 2 no trump, opener kind of has to guess whether to stop in game. Notice this is a 14-point hand, but and 1 for length, it's worth 15. But if instead of bidding 4 clubs, you had used a limit raise with 14, partner says, well, if my partner's got 10, it's not going to be very good. But when I've got 14 and I get an invitation, I typically go. That's my philosophy. Invite with 11, accept with 14. This hand is worth 15, so I would bid the game. But here's a game right here. Too much strength in the suit splintered. This is game only. But look at this hand over here. Partner has 4-card trump support for you. He has a hand worth, on average, 10 high card points and a singleton club. You now know that you don't have 2 fast losers in any suit. You have at least first or second round control in all the other suits, and you know partner has second round control at least in clubs. This hand now becomes worth considering more than game. You can bid 4 no trump if that's what you want to do, or if you and your partner play Q bids, you can Q bid 4 diamonds here to show that you have a control there. But notice the difference with the splinter bid here by partner, and you have the ace king in that suit. This is a duplication of values. Over here, the ace king is in another suit, and you have only 3 small, nothing at all in clubs here. Perfect. I know we have only 1 club loser. I can either Q bid or I can bid 4 no trump, because the splinter bid sets trumps. 4 no trump is key card for spades if you play key card, or it is ace asking with spades as the trump suit. Now,
Susan,
yes.
Susie's had a question. I'm sure others have. Are
Oh, Kitty does too, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Splinter bids being alertable?
Yes, they are. They're not natural. They don't show the suit, so they are definitely alertable. Yes, Debbie, what's your question?
That was my question about on alerting them. What do you say? Do you just say shortness or what do you say?
I just say alert. And then if the opponents want to know, most people recognize the splinter, but if they ask you what it is, you say game going hand, 4-card trump support, and shortness in the suit splintered. Mhm.
And so if you're playing on BBO, if I make the splinter bid myself, I would just say alert when I make the bid. That's
Yeah,
all I
and
have
then
to
you
do.
can type in the explanation splinter. And then if they ask you to explain further, I don't think there's room to type all of that in the initial line. But if somebody asks you what a splinter bid means, then you would need to explain it further.
Yeah, probably get away with just shortness.
Yeah.
Support, clubs, spade support and shortness would be
Yeah.
fine.
Mhm.
And Susie has another question. Deborah, did that answer your question? Are you still have question about it?
No, I think I know. I have to say that when I make the bid on
Yes,
BBO.
online, yes, you absolutely do. Remember when you're playing in a face-to-face club, it's your partner who says alert. Yeah. Susie, what's your question?
You're
That
muted.
was my question. Thank you.
Okay, okay, good. All right. All right, now then. When the responder splinters, opener can pretty well value his hand in terms of support points as being anywhere between 13 and 16. That's because we've limited it to 9 to 11 high card points. 11 high card points, a void, and 4 trumps. I'd be counting 5 points for that void myself if I'm the responder. If I have a singleton, I give myself 3 points. So your partner will never have really more than about 16 points, total support points, if you limit your hand when you splinter that way. Opener will need about a hand that evaluates to about 17 when your partner has splintered. The important thing about the splinter bid, though, is it gives you that very descriptive information about where your shortness is. So once you know this, and if you think that you are in slam territory, here's a little guideline for you. Make a slam try, which is Q bidding. Q bids are at the 4 level when it's a slam try. If your hand has improved following the splinter bid and you have at least 15 total points, Remember, suit slams can often make on 30 or 31 total points, hand evaluation points. They don't require as much as no trump slams do because you have more than just power on your side. Now, if you have a hand that is worth 18 or more points, make a slam try even if your hand hasn't improved. If you've got a hand that's worth 18 plus after the splinter bid, then don't worry about whether your hand has gotten better or worse. Just make the slam try. Yeah, partner could have only 10 points and you may only have 28 between you, but you're going to have a lot of success with slams that don't have the usual point count requirement. So with this hand number 1, why would we, let's see, this has 7, 10, 15 high card points and 1 for length. North opened at a heart. Partner bid 4 diamonds. Oh, hey, I have a 15-point hand to start with, 15-point hand to start with. And now all of a sudden my partner shows me shortness in the suit where I have 3 small. My hand has gotten quite a bit better. In this case, I'm going to Q bid because I can stay below the game level. Just in case. This is one of these that's on the cusp. So here I would choose to Q bid rather than bidding 4 no trump. If it turns out that you don't have a control that you think you need, then you can still stop in game. Now, hand number 2 has significant strength in diamonds and it doesn't have the ace. Remember the Sinatra rule, all or nothing at all. This does not match. This is not all and it's not nothing at all. So this is a game only bid here when partner has splintered 4 diamonds. Now,
We have questions on the floor.
all righty.
All right, Gail,
Gail?
let's go ahead, start with you.
You said Q bid. What would the Q bid be? I'm
4
not,
hearts. 4 hearts. Oh, I opened a heart. I'm sorry. 4 spades. 4 spades. That's right. I can't stay below the game level, but I would try 4 spades. My partners and I use Italian Q bidding, which is first or second round control. So I would bid 4 spades here. That's
okay.
my cheapest one. I wouldn't go, if I bid 5 clubs, I'm denying a control in spades.
Okay, thank you.
All righty, now hand number 3, look at this thing. This is 11, 12. This is a 19-point hand. I mean, once my partner twitches at all over here, I know I'm bidding at least game. And when my partner splinters, look at my holding in diamonds. You don't need to tell me twice. I'm going to show my spade control and I'm going to push hard toward a slam here. Notice how well these 2 hands fit together. We have a diamond loser and that's all. And if the opponents don't get off to a diamond lead, I'm going to be able to throw away at least one of these diamonds so that I have only 1 here. And I might even be able to throw a diamond on some of these clubs. So if the opponents don't take their diamond tricks, I'm going to take all the tricks here. This is a very big hand, but you know exactly what partner has. He doesn't have an ace or king of diamonds, but he has shortness. That means all his values are in spades and clubs, and he has hopefully the queen of hearts. We can find that out if you choose to bid 4 no trump instead. You can find out if he has the queen, because I know I have only 1 diamond loser at the very most. So if I bid 4 no trump, I'm still going to have room to stop in. Let's see, how many key cards am I missing? I'm missing 2 and the queen, but if partner bids 5 spades, showing me, well, he doesn't have the ace of diamonds. If he shows me 1, then I'm going to ask for the queen. And then if he shows the queen, I'll bid 6. I don't like to bid slams being off 1 key card and the queen of trumps. That's just my particular idiosyncrasy. If you guys are a little more daring than I am in that case, then feel free to go ahead and bid 6, because you know you have 9 trump. So the odds would favor that you would be able to find the queen, but not always. If I'm off a key card, I don't want to be off the queen of trumps also. That's just my thing. Now, we all know that not all auctions start with a major suit. The rules for splintering following a minor suit opening are pretty much the same they are as for following a major suit opening. The differences come about depending on how you and your partner open a minor suit. If you use convenient minors, then in order to use a splinter bid, you need to have 5 card support in the minor suit. And when you splinter with 5 card support, make sure you don't have an outside 4 card major suit. If you do, don't splinter, because you and your partner may have an 8 card, a 4-4 major suit fit somewhere. Where do we want to play? First choice, always the 8 card major suit fit. Now, if you guarantee 4 cards when you open a diamond, then 1 club might be opened with a doubleton. Am I right? So if either minor may be opened with only 3, then you need to have 5 regardless. But if your partner opens a club and he may have only 2 of them in his hand, then even 5 card club support might not be sufficient. So you need to be very careful and have lots of chats with your partners before you start splintering over minor suit openings. Now, look at this hand right here, and your partner opens 1 diamond. You have several choices here. If you play inverted minors, then you can make a forcing raise of 2 diamonds. Or you could bid 2 clubs if you play 2 over 1, and you could bid 2 clubs to force. But look at how descriptive it is to bid 3 hearts. You tell your partner, number 1, I do not have a 4 card major suit in my hand. Number 2, I have game going values. Number 3, I have 5 card diamond support for you. Now, I said game going values. I think you all recall that it takes 28 or 29 points to make game in a minor, because you have to bid it at the 5 level, right? If you're contracting in a suit at the 5 level, then you need 28 or 29. So your point counts for splinters can be a little higher. Rather than 9 to 11, I bumped my point range for splintering following a minor suit opening to about 12 to 15 or 16. This hand has 13 high card points, so it falls within that range, and it gives partner a pretty good idea, in fact, better than a pretty good idea about what my hand looks like. Shortness and hearts, 5 card diamond support, and game going values. We may even have a diamond slam if partner has the right holding. And most importantly, if he has 4 hearts or 4 spades, he knows I don't have either one of those. Now, here's the same hand again. So let's say that partner splinters here to 3 hearts. Here is one possible holding where partner might have opened 1 diamond. This hand doesn't look very attractive for 3 no trump. Knowing that your partner is short in hearts, this hand has only 1 heart stop in it. This makes it most likely that 5 diamonds is a better spot than 3 no trump. You might still make 3 no trump, but once they drive out that heart stop, you're going to have to give up the lead in diamonds and clubs before you can have a chance at making 3 no trump, and that makes it difficult to make 3 no trump on this particular situation, because the opponents know that responder is short in hearts. Guess what suit they're likely to be long in? Hearts. What do they lead? Fourth from their longest and strongest. What suit are they likely to put on the table? Hearts. So when you look at your hand in the context of a splinter bid in hearts, all of a sudden you think, I'm not too crazy about playing no trump with only one heart stop. Now then, contrast this hand on the left with this hand in the middle. Here we have King, Queen, 10 in hearts. Well, these heart values represent a duplication of values if we're playing a suit contract. My partner is short in hearts. I definitely don't have all or nothing at all, but it makes it pretty perfect for playing no trump. With this kind of hand, when my partner has splintered 3 hearts over my 1 diamond opening, I'm going to say, hey, 3 no trump looks pretty attractive to me. I mean, partner doesn't have anything in hearts, so he's got to have something in clubs. So we won't be totally out there. So this hand is better to rebid 3 no trump because he has honors in the suit splintered and a balanced hand. He also knows partner has 5 diamonds, so we have a 9-card diamond fit. I'm likely to get 5 diamond tricks, at least I hope so. Now, this hand right here starts to smell like a diamond slam. Lots and lots of cards in hearts, but no values. This is a nothing at all hand here. If you're looking at this in terms of all or nothing at all, then this hand starts to smell like a diamond slam. 5-card diamond support, heart shortness, singleton or void. That means the points in the outside suits are in spades and clubs, which really fits my hand nicely. So here's that hand. Look at this hand opposite this one. I don't know about you, but I think 6 diamonds is unbeatable here. So this is how the opener should reevaluate his hand once partner has splintered in a minor suit. Number 1, you know you're not going to play a major suit contract because partner denies a 4-card major suit when he doesn't bid it. You never bid an inverted minor. You never bid a splinter following a minor suit opening if you have a 4-card major suit in your hand. So by splintering, you deny a 4-card major suit. So partner is well positioned to decide, hey, based on my hand, does 3 no trump look more inviting? Or does 5 diamonds? Or could we even have a diamond slam? It all depends. Notice how much information is conveyed by that splinter bid again. You just have to know and understand why it's important to have a limit on what the splinter bid shows. Now, there's another way that splinters can be used, and that's by opener, but the requirements change. What kind of hand do you think that an opener has to have if he says, I have a game-going hand? I don't have just a minimum opener over here. When your partner has bid a different suit, he's only promised you 6 points. So if you're going to have a game-going hand opposite what might be only 6 points, you have to have that 19 to 21 point maximum opener, the one that's just a notch below the 2-club opener. The same rules apply. 4-card support. And you need to have a hand worth at least 19 points. Here's an example of that. You open a heart and your partner, wonder of wonder, bids a spade. Now then, look at your hand. What are the opener's options? If responder had bid 2 diamonds, that would be a natural bid, and in my system would be a game force. 3 diamonds is a game forcing jump shift by many players. For instance, if I were to bid well, I'm not going to be bidding 2 diamonds. If I were to bid 3 diamonds, say, that would be a jump shift showing hearts and diamonds, 5 hearts and 4 diamonds generally, or maybe 5 hearts and 5 diamonds. But I don't need the 4 diamond bid to show any kind of natural bid over a 1 spade response. So 4 diamonds here is a splinter saying, partner, I have 4 card support. I have a game going hand, even if you have only 6 points and I have only 1 diamond. Do we have only game or could we have more? This is a game force. A splinter bid is a game force. So when opener uses it, he has to have enough for game, opposite even a 6-point hand. Now the odds are pretty good that he has more than that. He might have 8 or 9. He may or may not have enough for slam. You just don't have any way of knowing yet. He'll let you know with his next bid. So now then, what are some hands that he might hold? He might hold this one. This is 8 points. Tremendous trick-taking potential here. My partner has a singleton diamond. He opened a heart, and he has at least 19 points. I know that. So the odds are pretty good that he has the ace of hearts. I think there is slam potential here. Notice I have only 8 high card points. I have a 5th spade, so I know there are 9 spades between us. So at this point, I would Q-bid the club king and see what my partner does. Now let's switch these around here so that now the king and 2 small are in the diamond suit, the suit splintered. Now you know that partner has a singleton diamond. It is not the diamond ace. Your 3 points here are wasted. You might get a discard from it. You might not. You might get a lead right through that king. You never know. That's likely a wasted card. So in this case, sign off in 4 spades as rapidly as you can. Put that 4 spade card down and go on and play the hand, because now your hand is seriously devalued because you know that partner shortness is in diamond. I don't know if any of you have ever given it any thought before, but shortness opposite a suit where your partner has stuff is not an asset. In other words, many times if you have shortness in partner's opening suit, that's not particularly helpful. It can give you control of the suit, but that's about all. You just need to be thinking very, very hard there about what the bids mean and logically what shortness shows. This is why I keep getting asked, particularly by some of my newer players, about, well, when do I get to add for shortness? Don't I get to add for shortness to come to an opening bid? The answer is no, because shortness is not an asset if your partner is fixing to bid the suit. So you never add for shortness until you found a fit. Now,
Susan,
Yeah.
before you get go down the road, we've got just a couple of minutes, and I think a lot of this is, I keep getting a lot of questions, so we might have to.
All right, well, that's fine. We've got a few minutes for questions here, and we can pick up on number 15 next week if we need to. If anybody has any questions, still sing out. So otherwise, that'll give us plenty of time to go get another cup of coffee before the game starts.
Yeah. Q bidding is something I've gotten several questions about.
Do what?
The Q bidding.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, when we start talking about slams again, we can talk about Q bidding. Just remember that Q bidding is done showing your cheapest control. If you skip over a suit, then you deny having a control there, and you do not Q bid controls in the trump suit. So if you've agreed hearts, then the cheapest control following, say, agreeing hearts at the 3 level. A 3 spade bid would be showing a spade control and saying, partner, I'm interested here. Are you, can you show me something, or do you have a dead minimum? When you are Q bidding, the weakest thing that either partner can do is sign off in game. If you don't have anything left to show, or if you have a dead minimum and your partner Q bids, you just bid game. That cuts it off. Debbie, do you have a question?
Yeah, I did. Would you just briefly summarize again the requirements to use a splinter bid, like point count? And I know
Okay,
you need 4.
Your partner's opened a major suit. You're sitting there with 4 card support, a singleton and a side suit that is not an ace or a king, and you have a hand with 9 to 11 high card points in it. That will give it a total evaluation of 13 to 16. So a splinter bid is entirely appropriate there. If your partner has opened a minor suit, you have 5 card support, you have no 4 card major, you have 12 to 15 or 16 hand evaluation points. And then you can splinter in the suit that has the singleton or void following a minor suit opening. Those can be very, very informative, just like the splinter bids over a major suit can be. But if it's a little scary to you, start by using splinters just over majors, and start by using splinters just by responder, not by open. You don't have to jump in all at once into the deep end here. You can start out in the baby pool if you want to, slosh around there for a little while and then move on and move on and move on. First thing you know, you'll be bidding mini splinters and all that other kind of stuff. I mean, that you can take splinter bids as far as you want to, or not at all if you don't want to. But they're so informative that I think it's worth considering at least. Anybody else? Nobody.
Susan,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
you said Q-bid at the cheapest level. I noticed you Q-bid the spades with only 2 spades.
Sure. Q-bid doesn't mean that you have length in the suit. It means you have a first or second round control.
Okay.
Now, those of you who play American style Q-bidding show first round controls and then second round controls. That can get pretty involved to me. I find Italian Q-bidding to be easier. And of course, that's all I play with my partners because they have to make things easy for me, So if you want to do that, it can be really easy. And that tells your partner, if you have to skip over a suit because you have a king and not an ace, then he can still be left wondering whether there's a first or second round control in that suit. If you can tell him that you have a first or second round control, that gives him a lot of information and making a judgment on whether slam is in the offing, rather than having to wait till the next round of bidding for you to show that second round control. This is just my thought on it. Don't take my word for it necessarily. This is what works best for me. So, and guys, remember that it's just like with Texas transfers and other similar jump bids. There are going to be times when partner has a forget and he passes. Jacoby 2 no trump is absolutely forcing. Splinter bids are absolutely forcing. Q bids are absolutely forcing. Just remember, all strange bids are forcing. Everybody has been left. Like 1 no trump 4 hearts is a Texas transfer. Shall I tell you how many times people have passed that 4 heart bid and you played a 3-2 heart fit? You just have to laugh and go on. It happens all the time. If it happens to you, just shrug your shoulders and say, boy, I bet I don't do that again, and go right on. Yes, Ella.
To show a Q bid, you have to have points to do that?
Well, you are, when you are Q bidding, remember, the trump suit has been set. So when you Q bid, you're saying, I wonder if we have more than game, partner. I have this control. Does that help you? And if it does, then partner will cooperate by showing his next control up the line, the cheapest one, up the line, first or second round, then he can cooperate. If he says, no, partner, don't go there. I opened a dog, game, cuts it off. Well, that doesn't mean that you can't keep going. If you Q bid because you think that there's a slam, if you know there's a slam, if you can smell it, just because partner declines to Q bid doesn't mean you can't bid for no trump. But you can cut it off below game level if you're lucky. Sometimes you have to stop at the 5 level, but Q bids though are forcing in terms of don't leave me here. This isn't a suggestion to play here. We have agreed another suit. So at least go back to the suit you've agreed.
Are
Okay?
they alertable?
No. But a lot of times opponents will ask, what was 4 clubs? And you just say, first or second round control. Roy,
Thank
what's
you.
your question?
I'm struggling. Well, I'm getting better on your use of the term Q bid. When you're talking about Q bids now, you're talking about control of a suit
I should
bid.
be saying,
You're not talking about a Q
I'm
bid
not-
like
I'm not-
Michael's.
I'm not
or-
talking about Q bidding support for overcaller's suit or Q bidding
Right.
when your partner has opened and the opponents have overcalled and you use their bid against them. That Q bids unfortunately have multiple meanings. I should be calling these control showing bids. They are Q bids in the sense
Right,
that
control
they are
showing.
not a real suit, but a better term for them is a control showing bid. You're exactly right.
Right.
And
I
that-
was struggling with that, but I think I understand it now.
The term Q bid has multiple meanings, unfortunately, just like the term double does. You know, if somebody asks you, well, what does double mean? Well, how much time do you have? You know, and Q bids, instead of saying Q bid here, I should say show a control. That would be a better choice, definitely. Anybody else? Is that it?
Got it. Thank you.
You bet. You bet. Hi, this is Susan. Thanks for stopping by the Oklahoma Collective's YouTube channel. Basically, this channel shows recordings of our free 1-hour bridge lessons for advancing players that we offer every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Central Time. If you would like to join us, send your contact information to the email address shown on the screen, and we'll be happy to send you the link. If you would like to follow our channel and be notified when a new recording is uploaded, just click the Oklahoma Collective button below. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.